You sound good.
Perfect.
All right. Dork Court. Mark and I had a little sound problem because I didn't turn my volume up. I'm like, I can't hear you.
I get lumped into that.
He's like, I can
That
hear
sounds more like a
you.
you problem.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a me problem.
Oh,
Anyway.
I like the San Diego Comic-Con hat.
Yeah, we're very excited about going to the show. And Walker's at football, so he was like, hey, I'm like, I don't know what to wear. We haven't really done Star Trek for 2 months because Price, who his dad now officially, he has twins, Alice and Leah, named after both their mothers.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Sagasai. Hi, Bob. Yeah, good old Bob Newhart died.
Yep.
94 years old. Because we're big. Ah, there you go. Nice jacket.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking about wearing mine. That's hilarious. But instead I went, oh, no, he's going to go put it on now. I saw White Sheep Leather, who do really cool stuff. And some guy on my prop stuff had got a White Sheep Leather Guardians thing. And he's like, I'll sell it for $500. And like, really?
Yeah.
There he is.
Deep cut.
Ghostbusters.
The only one I have close by, so.
I like how Steve, the whole like cosplay elitist, and like, yeah, that's, I understand how people like to do that for Halloween, but I'm not going to do that. And then he gets his orange Ghostbusters thing, and he's like, yeah, I have it close by. I love that. That's awesome. So what's going on with you guys? Ready for San Diego?
5 days.
Is it
4 days?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's the drive. Yeah, you're Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, like 8:30, I think, something like that in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll already be set up back at the hotel.
No, but he comes in and has breakfast with us. It's awesome.
That's true. Yeah, he does catch us on our walk back.
I like that. I think that's cool. We're in a very good place for the show, I think. Everything's looking good. And we have our books. Steve did his first article for volume 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm almost done on another one. When you write them, it's like funny how quick you go down the rabbit hole. At least that's what I end up doing.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, oh, and then I started watching something and I was like, oh, I probably should have just finished the article and then I could have watched this, but I'm like, I'll just watch it. So
I have like the retired detective trying to solve his one case book of yours that I'm circling a word from each article connecting to the other. There is something going on in there that if I done by Comic-Con, I'll be very happy.
Like a biblical code of some kind, some secret message.
There's a movie connection that between each one that is.
Oh, absolutely.
So so what you're saying is if you take certain words out of everything I've written, combined it into if you take all 16 articles, with just certain words and combine it, there's a 17th movie that I'm recommending.
It's the recipe for cold fusion.
Yeah.
It's more about connecting. Like I'll show you one, but it's basically like this actor was in this movie, but then he does this movie next. And like there is a connection between each one that I'm finding.
Oh, I totally know what you mean. After putting that book together and putting like Rodney's quotes, all the quotes and the blurbs and stuff, the theme comes out is that the connection to all those movies is Steve. You know what I mean? It's really cool though. Yeah. It's like Steve sees it and he brings us along and we go, oh shit, I would never have seen that, but right on, Steve. So I think that book is legit, man. I really do. I know you're like, oh, I just wrote some dopey thing, but P.S. that's what everybody does.
Yeah, hey, listen.
Hey, I wrote some dopey thing about astronauts, and look what happened. So
you're right about what you love, right? I guess.
Yeah. So I just like there was some. Oh, I know what it was. Putting it on the store part for Dork Court, the Dork Court site. I didn't know what to write because it's like. Oh, I can't sum it up because it's just like, hey man, go see a million movies with Steve and take that experience and this book is that. It's like really kind of hard to write that. And so I just clucked out the last half of Mark's intro because I was reading his introduction to see if there was like something and I'm like, Now this first half is why he likes you, and then the second half is why it's cool talking movies with you. So I just put that up, and I'm like, hey man, if you don't get what,
Hell yeah.
and it just wrote Mark Espinoza from his introduction. I'm like, if you don't get that, like, you're not gonna get Steve's book. So anyway,
No book for
it's
you.
out there, man. You did a great job. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I sell one. I'll turn back and look at you, Larry, and I'll be crying. So that's pretty much how it's going to be.
Oh, sell one on the floor because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's got it yet, but you know my friend Tony, the tennis pro who writes under Borg Cutis of Borg.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
I know one of your on your Facebook posts.
Yeah, on the Facebook. I had to figure out something because he wanted your book, Loose Cannon and Walker's Progress, but there's no way to, bundle it without spending $6 for shipping every time. And I'm like, well, first of all, like shipping's like $12, and I just say $6 because I think that's usurious. But so I had to go like just order this, and that's kind of like $42, which is what all that adds up to. So we'll just do that. But so there's no record, but technically you have sold a copy of your book.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
That is. Yeah, I need like a buzzer or something. That's ridiculous.
I have a big stack of Walker's pre-autographed ones, and I don't have to do that for me because I can just sign it when I'm making
when you're about to put it into a bag.
When I'm autographing the outside of the box with your address on it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So so I was like, hey man, if we have a couple left over, I need you to autograph some so I can have some here. Because people are like, can I get Steve to sign it? I'm like, no, he lives 1,000,000 miles away from me in Corte Madera.
Which
where's that? Illinois?
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
press the bay.
It might as well be a floating island.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm very excited to report we are good to go. Our little, I aired up the dolly tires already. That's how good we are.
I love
yeah.
that. That's always a concern for you. I think every year you're always right, Mark.
Yeah, I feel like was there a 1 year where there was like no air in them?
I was gonna say, why, right?
Yeah,
probably the year you brought the most long boxes would be my guess.
Yeah, it was either 2009 or 2010. We had a lot of long boxes. We had like 5, I think, and you can Ian always put them all up on the big long one.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm just gonna get this whole thing up there all the way, and everybody can get out of my way. Fuck everyone. And that's great because that's how you have to do that stuff, right? But then he something happened and he just started loading them up on the little one, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever. That's kind of cool. Like everybody sees me coming, you can mosey along. It's no big deal.
It creates almost like a platform. But yeah,
exactly. It's a rolling table, except you need wheels for it to roll, right? And this 1 year, there was just no air in the tires, and it was evil. It was like trying to. I mean, you must have tried to roll something like a wheelbarrow with a dead tire. It's not easy. And then all that extra weight, I was feeling it. And so on the graves of Thomas and Martha Wayne, I vowed that would never happen again. Because Ian, of course, bitched about it for like the next 3 days. Right?
Oh, I'm sure. And the ride back, and the ride there, and the ride back.
Yeah. So I ended up the next year I did it, and I was like, hey man, this is officially the Ian Yarborough memorial, airing up of the tires. And he got really mad because he wasn't dead. And then it should be the Ian Yarborough commemorative airing up of the tires. And I'm like, all right, man. So I did it. I did the Ian Yarborough commemorative airing of the tires. I did it. I was so spastic about it. I actually overinflated them. And
wow, buddy.
And
you hear a big pop. Everyone's going to jump to the ground.
No, it was just kind of struggling. And I'm like, why is it struggling to fill this up? These are little, that's a 5, not a 3.
Yeah, they're vibrating slightly.
Yeah, it's easy to fix because you just go for a while and you're good. But it was funny.
Have you been in communication with the other side of our of the booth?
Yes.
Good.
All right.
It's gonna go well.
Oh, I listen. I know it'll go well. That's
I s-
not a question. It's
Let's put it this way. I spoke to Ken, who took 20 minutes to tell me what Maddie had sent me in an email that I read in 3 minutes already, And so if it sounds like everybody's on the same team over there. So if they all are facing the same way, that doesn't impact us at all.
yeah, that's cool.
Chucklefuck got fired, so
okay.
The games guy.
Okay.
The guy who wanted the big standee in the middle of the booth that required people to actually go inside, take a photo, and then.
I'm not gonna.
Here's my favorite part of that story, because this is not gonna make sense to anyone that's
no. You guys tell it. You guys tell it. I'm just gonna stay.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to tell the story. But my favorite part is this is also while they have like 11 or 20 or like 11 to 15 people behind the counter already.
Yeah.
Hovering, stealing every seat.
So the idea this year is that their art director is Alex Wald. It's not him. So some kind of production art guy named Nick Accardi, who's apparently worked there for 4 years, and I've never met him. No, never. But the thing is, he's apparently supposed to be working with the Philbacks, and they have never met him either. So it's not. It's just something that's going on.
It's first games, right?
Yeah, I don't understand who is where, because nobody really talks to me. I have to hear about all this shit
secondhand,
third hand.
So yeah,
it's funny, but apparently Nick is going to be in charge of making sure that their schedule is adhered to, and that if you come in a little early, you have to wait outside the booth. And when you leave, you have to just leave, because there's another guy's right behind you. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
One of my things I was going to do today, but I'll do it tomorrow, is write an email to this Nick guy and to the Yuan brothers and go, hey, I'm Larry. Like, I've been saying this to everyone for 13 years, but if you have a problem, let's hash it out ahead of time, and we'll, so we don't have weird shit like people I don't know screaming at me when I show up about some photo thing that is wildly inappropriate and completely not against the rules of the fucking place.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will not happen this year, because they fired his idiot ass.
I'm just gonna smile. Hey, I'm happy. I feel good. I feel
good.
Great.
Walker feels good. Everybody feels good.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be great. If anything, we'll do what we did last year. We'll adopt the Cowboys, and they'll just scratch their heads about why there's no booze in our cooler anymore.
Yeah,
that's right.
And we'll just
Troy. What kind of beer is this?
If you want to keep your beer and shit cold, feel free. You can use our ice, but it's whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Understood. All right. So
yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. So I know I shared with you both a rumor earlier today, but
let's go to the San Diego.
Let's go to the big one. So I shared something I read yesterday, and I read it multiple places yesterday. So it does sound like the Russo brothers are picking up the next Avengers movie, which Kang is gone. Kang will not be. They're going to probably do something, but Kang is out. So the Kang dynasty is gone. So that's probably
that whole story. They're just not going to explore that anymore.
I think they're just done with it.
I wanted an Ant-Man movie then. That's a bummer.
But so then it sounds like the Russo brothers are right now being signed up for 2. It was originally offered to the guy who's making the next Star Wars movie, who I don't know who that is. Hold on, let me confirm. Hold on.
Yeah. In the comic, they did a cool thing of like somebody was organizing all this power to use to reshape the universe, and then Doctor Doom just kind of like
walks in and kind of steals it. Yeah.
So I mean, I assume they're going to do something like that, where Kang is like this great energy source that will remake the universe, and Doom is like, cool, thanks, and then just walks off with it.
Well, so you should tell the rumor though, because I want to talk about that part of it.
Well, and yep. Hold on, I just want to say thank you, Chris
Levy. Thank you.
Yeah, so he was originally, that's who they went to first for the Avengers things, but he's doing. Is it the Mandalorian one? I think it's Mandalorian and Grogu, which I think Rodney's working on. Shh, don't tell anyone. No, I actually don't know, but I'm assuming he is. Everything he works on is nondescript, so he never knows what he works on.
Yeah, like he was like, I was working on a cityscape, like at sunset, and he was like, I have no idea what it was, and then he saw the Batman and was like, oh, that was it.
That's what I was working on for like 2-3 months.
That's great. He never knows until he sees the movie.
Yeah,
I think, and also because if I understand correctly, what they generally do, and this is pretty standard procedure, is they kind of give everything a code name. I don't even think he has code names. I think he has numbers. He has just like random number files to go look at. So he doesn't even.
Yeah, that totally makes sense though for his workflow, right?
Yeah,
I just need Project 007 or fucking whatever, right?
Right, exactly. So anyway, it's always funny. Like he is the greatest. You have him sign an NDA for anything, and that secret is a secret for the history of the world. Like you will never break him. So he is the most trustworthy person you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Before I forget, you just mentioned 007, and the thing that's going around the internet, there's Pierce Brosnan was at, I think, Wimbledon,
yeah,
with like a nice gray beard and a nice gray hair, and everyone was like, "Can we please get an old man Bond movie of just like one last mission?" And the response I saw was, "There was one already. It was called The Rock." And I was like, "Hell yeah, man! Exactly, that's what that was."
Well, they do consider they do say that is a Bond movie. They just
Who says that?
No, because we've gone through the history of like they wouldn't. No.
I just meant, does Broccoli say that? Because if they say it, then I'm down. But it's clearly a fanboy thing. Of course,
they wanted to use. I can't think of what his name is in it. It's like Mason or something.
Yeah, John Mason.
Yeah, John Mason. But they wanted it to. They were There's all talk about that. They were gonna try to get it as they wanted them to just be Bond.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Where did I read that? I know I read that a long time ago.
So hey, let me ask you: is Sean Levy the guy that did Deadpool Wolverine too?
Is Sean Levy Deadpool? Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he is.
He's free guy. He's free guy.
Yeah, that makes sense that they would say, "Hey, want to do the Avengers?"
Right.
But,
well, supposedly,
he kind of just did, right? I mean,
well, considering the cameos that are supposed to be in this movie, I think the Avengers movie might have less stars in it than the Avengers movie. So, but anyway, so the big rumor is Doom, and it's Robert Downey Jr.
I just love that. Yeah, there's a version of Tony Stark that becomes Doctor Doom. I'm like, give me a couple movies of that, and you're not stuck with it because it's just Battle World or whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? He only has to take his mask off once to reveal who he is. Everyone goes crazy. Put the mask back on.
He goes like he did with Iron Man. He goes sits in a room and
does this. Ooh, we see the inside of his mask, right? Come on. It's good to talk to you guys. I'm getting kind of sick of Walker going every 20 minutes. I'm really excited about San Diego Day. You know what they just revealed. So you know what we're doing? We're actually going through the panels and picking out stuff that he wants to see.
I didn't even think to do that yet.
If he has time. Because that's how early we are. We try to do it on the floor, right?
Yeah. Looking through the book first night. Yeah.
Because you do, and then someone like taps you on the shoulder, and you're like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" Then you like, "Okay, where was I?"
Right.
Oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, oh, okay, where was I?
And then
I never get to. Yeah.
And then I lend my fucking thing to somebody, and I never know when the hours of the thing's open or when to go, and I just give up.
Well, that's
I'm gonna have a little
cut that out forever.
I'm gonna have a little index card put it on the back of my badge. I have got my Venmo PayPal scan. I didn't work that dot thing out yet, but man, just the fact I got my little laminated card is just A+. All right.
If you have that, send a photo to Steve and I so we can be like, "Hey, Larry, 10 minutes. You gotta get ready for the How to Make a Book Marvel Way panel."
Oh, I wouldn't do that to you guys because this is all like I'm not a big panel guy myself.
I think Walker might want to go though.
It's just a thing to like get Walker's energy level into like a dealable thing because he's just
Okay.
literally bouncing around the room. Like, remember that one time that when I sat in the big Fortnite thing when I was like, I don't know, that was I was with mommy. I wasn't really into the groove yet, but that's a good picture. I'm like, yeah, I remember, man. and he'll go off for 20 minutes about, Anyway, it's cool to see it from like a little kitten fanboy version instead of old grizzled one last mission guys like us.
Yeah,
this is our 29th show. Oh, I've already had breakfast. Let's go.
I am doing something similar, but with all the artists I want to stop by and pick up prints from.
Oh, nice. That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walker's got several things like that. He's got a plan to walk through Artist Alley. He really, he's got a plan.
Well, there's an artist I bought from last year, Mark. Have you reached out to him yet? Go to his Josh. I think it's Josh Cassara.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I got the beautiful Mystique picture from. I think if you hit him up through Instagram, just hit him up and send him a message, and he'll respond back. Because I know he's doing what's that, like custom sketches or something like that. Yes. But you should probably. It's always nice to reach out to them before, which I didn't do last year, but I should have.
And Mondo is releasing a bunch of stuff that I want. God damn it!
That stinks. Do they have a booth there?
They're
doing online releases around the same time. 7/24 dropping online.
Because Mondo was bought by Funko, so they're in the Funko area.
Wait, really? Mondo was bought by Funko, but not the other way around.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool. Well, don't you know guys over there, don't you, Steve?
I don't think I know anyone that's still there. I think I think most of the main Mondo guys are out. That's why.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but we'll go over there and we'll schmooze and we'll see. We'll see what schmoozing brings us. Schmoozing has worked a lot of times. So we will try once again.
I somehow got it into my head that there needs to be a Jack Fry Funko. And I wonder if they would go for that. Like the licensing will be nothing, and you get all the PR of like this is some kid who's doing a comic like Axe Cop or something.
Well, they definitely do a DIY generic.
Yeah, but
I think they also do like a custom. So it would be interesting if you could like. I'm trying to think. Isn't it like create your? I think they do that like conventions and stuff. Like create your own Funko.
So I've been on their site where you can get your own, but it's like a limited amount of
make me like 50 of them or something.
But not just that. It's like you need a fedora, so like you can get a baseball cap, and two kinds of glasses, but not anything. It's like. To get close to me, you have big old black plastic glasses and a Santa beard and a baseball hat. And that works.
Abrams beard, the Kurt Russell beard, and then glasses.
Right, exactly. And so you can kind of get close. And if you saw it on my shelf, you'd be like, hey, okay, but it's not a Larry Funko, right? And that's what I'm afraid of for like, you need a full-on, film noir guy.
Yeah.
And like a little tiny gargoyle for him to hold. Or something, you know what I mean? It's like,
I just need to do some research and figure out who are the designers that are designing all of the Funko Pops. And maybe that's the route we go. Because what happens is it's like, oh, we got the IP for Hellboy. And then a guy gets to make like the Hellboy pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know. It's more, I think we need to have they need to buy the IP of Jack Fry.
Well, I think
first. That's where we need to go first.
Yes, I think that's.
But I think there's an argument to be made that like there's a cool PR bump for them to do a cool thing from a kid who's got a legacy guy who has to be brought into comic book Animal House because his dad did shit 20 years ago.
It's so funny how like we always end up talking about this stuff, and then Thursday afternoon, some random person will be walking by the booth, and I'll be like, "Hey, Larry, they're from Mondo."
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That always happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we got that from Steve. Steve will be like, you were into that whole manifesting thing before it really had a name, and you were like, yeah, no, just speak its words, and the
put it out into the world.
Happen. Yeah. And then shit starts happening.
Yeah.
Well,
my friend was like, "You're going to Comic-Con. Henry Zabrowski is going to be there. If you run into him, take a photo." And I was like, "You know how hard it is to find one random person who is famous?
180,000 people."
Yeah, but then 5 minutes later, he walked by your booth, and I was like, "Holy shit! Can I get a photo with you?" Of course, man. How you doing? Hail Satan.
Well, I listen. I wasn't a believer in it until it started working. That's why in our chat. That's why I said, that's why I was joking. I was like, you know what? I think I want to buy something from the Alien. I want to buy something from the original Aliens movie. And then the only reason I'm putting that out into the world is because something like that's gonna be available. And I don't know how, but it might. I don't know. We're just putting it out into the world. It's why when I don't know.
I can't wait for you to get something from Alien. That'll be amazing.
I mean, it'll never happen, but it's just like it's funny
you can get kind of close. The guy who did the armor for Aliens is this guy named Tony English, and he still makes them. Well, he'll make you. It's production made. There you go.
There are guys that are now I'm seeing, and I don't know if they're getting it from Prop Store London or where, but I've seen a couple people with panels from the original from the ship, like the back panels, like with the lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something like that, or a piece of an alien costume would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to imagine that. Oh, I did. Yes, that's why I'm obsessed with the alien stuff right now. I'm like, it's the new bucket. Did you see the new trailer?
I did. We saw that this morning.
You didn't watch it yet, Mark?
It's pretty horror stuff,
but it creates. I watched the first trailer and maybe I didn't pick up on it. This trailer gives me a premise of the movie where I'm like, okay, I'm cool with this.
Okay. I was just going to say that the premise of this is just basically the opposite of Alien. So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the alien coming into their ship, they're a bunch of like miscreants that are going to go rob
salvage hunters.
Yeah, they're salvage hunters. They're going to rob this abandoned place, but it's abandoned because everybody got killed in the alien fucking takeover. So they're going into this haunted house on purpose, which is
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's more horror though.
Definitely horror. The director's horror, but the costumes look spectacular. It looks
we got to get those hats, man.
Got to get those hats.
Starting to shake.
The one thing I was really appreciative of it is it looks dated.
Yeah,
but they are using new tech that I don't but it looks dated, meaning like it looks like 1980 sci-fi
making 2050.
And which I thought was like that's damn impressive because that's something that the director probably had to say like, if I'm going to make this, I want it to be like, like the original. I don't know, Larry. I cut you off.
Well, yeah, no, that's okay. It's just I was enthusiastically going to agree with you, so I was start interrupting my buddies when they're saying exactly what I'm going to say. But I was I agree that it looks like that, but there's a story reason, right? It's because it's from the Nostromo time.
Yes,
and so they're just showing up, and so there's a story reason that it looks like back then because that's what all the tech was, which makes me want to have that hat because it's the same fucking hat. The patches are the same, but it's from that, and in this one when they open it up, it's like MUTH 9000, like
Mother. Oh, it's so
like
cool.
HAL 9000 too, because it was Mother 1, I think, in the first one. But at least the computer's Mother again. I love the whole thing. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got a director that really loves the nostalgia of the original, and he's like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to make you. I think he's like, I'm going to make an Aliens movie, but you're going to like love the other one. So I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to bastardize it. Anyway, just if you watch the trailer. Like I said, the costumes look really cool too. So it even looks like they went and like I was noticing I was following a couple of people on Instagram that are trying to figure out like what sneakers is this guy wearing, because it's not, because again, it's not like 19 again. The thing with Aliens is like everyone's like, oh, I want that Reebok that they made, but this is like a new, so this has got to be like a new shoe that like they made like now. That
Reebok was from the second Aliens.
Oh, that's Aliens. That's right.
In the first Alien, they were Keds with different soles put on.
Got it. Yeah,
I know because I made those.
Yeah.
I'm actually just right there from my little white D rings and rivets. So if you guys want to, I can make some for you if you want. It's $15.
Anyway, there's they're the people online that are like going nuts and like taking stills of everything, and they're like
getting those costumes out. That's good.
Yeah, I love that.
I got my suit from the first one, but I could go for that hat.
The hat is a must-have.
The reason is because I want to do my own ship. You know about this, right? It's the USCSS 203447, and it's the John B. And I want that. I'm gonna get fucking Parker's jacket, and I'm gonna put John B on the back. It's gonna be great. And that's gonna be my mining thing, and it has nothing to do with fucking Joseph Conrad making up ship names. You know, the Nostromo, Sulaco, this Collarbone, it's all from Joseph Conrad novels.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All the ship names are all from Joseph Conrad novels.
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
I like that.
Fanboy.
Fucking fanboy.
My thing that's shocking is there hasn't been someone who's cracked this patch, though, yet. That's the thing that boggles my mind.
It kind of makes me wonder, doesn't it? Are they sitting on something for giveaways? Because I got like 7 or 8. What was it? The W Industries.
Oh, Wayland
Industries.
Oh yeah.
Aliens versus Predator. They were handing those out like free coffee that one year at San Diego. So hopefully they're doing that with those hats, because
they have to be.
AMC is giving out a Wayland patch if you go to the premiere. So the AMC theater, like fan night.
Yeah.
But it's a new generic Wayland patch, which obviously has to be in the new movie in some capacity.
Yeah.
But that's what they're giving out. So they're not giving out a Romulus or whatever it's called.
Well, like I said, they did whoever this director did us a giant favor, because it's just the patch is just the Nostromo patch, and instead of numbers across the bottom, it's the new Wayland Yutani W, which I have, and it's just a ship's name. And so once I get this fucking font working, it's a really easy thing to do patches. Well, and especially in the first Alien, they had navy patches and gray patches, and there was some kind of, the gray patches were on the officers, and the blue patch was, there was just nonsense. Like, you have to kind of make it work later, and at least this one's just the blue patch. So we can just do that and just make 200 of them and use them as cash, because people will accept them in the grocery stores, because why can we not get these yet?
Exactly. Well, like I said, I'm under the impression, I'm trying to find out what giveaways people are having, and I can't find anything online yet. I will once we get closer. I generally always do. But I have to imagine that they're doing, so they have to give something alien related. Have to.
Yes. Remember that year? What do you mean?
It's going to be like, what production studio are they going to be under, you think?
It's Disney, isn't it? Because don't they own 20th Century Fox?
They do.
Alien Romulus. Colonizers. Produced by Ridley Scott. Scott Free Productions. Fade. Yeah, distributed by 20th Century Studios. So that's Disney.
Awesome.
That's Disney. Yeah.
Division of Entertainment. This is so funny. 20th Century Studios is an American film studio owned by Walt Disney Studios, a division of Disney Entertainment, in turn, a division of the Walt Disney Company. Just FYI.
Yep. and the best part is 13 people wrote that.
Did they really?
No, I'm kidding. But it's
Well,
like
I mean, they might have. Oh, you mean about 20
this to this to this to this to this.
13 lawyers. Yeah.
20th century. I mean, they're going to be at Hall H, so they got to have some presence somewhere in the show, right?
Yeah, they'll probably throw out hats at Hall H, I would think.
Well, we'll tell Farrington that he can't leave his stuff at the table until he comes back with an offering of 3 hats.
Yeah. Well, that was like the one year, didn't they gave everyone the Phase 5 hat?
Did they?
Yeah, Marvel did.
Yeah.
So, and Marvel's it's I heard it's going to be nuts. That's what I and Deadpool, what they're both going to be there. Well, you're great. Feig is getting his star on the Walk of Fame next week.
Is he really?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's also planning on being in San Diego because he's doing the announcement. So,
you know what I learned that the Apollo 11 boys have a star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, do they really?
It's not a star because they're not Hollywood celebrities. It's a square.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But they get their spot on the walk. And
That's
so there's a
pretty
couple like that. And then Clayton Moore, the guy who plays the Lone Ranger, has his name and the Lone Ranger on his star. It has both of his names on it.
Oh, interesting.
So there's a lot of people that want that. I'm sure Michael Keaton wants to be Batman forever.
Well, speaking of Michael Keaton, did you see the new Beetlejuice trailer?
I was going to bring that up.
Yes.
Also looks spectacular.
I love it. It's
my
a circle.
thing. My thing, though, did you watch the end of The Acolyte?
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
Is it done?
Are you all caught up, Larry?
Yeah, not just caught up, but Walker and I finished it today. So I loved it. I feel bad for Chris Sagasag, who said he hated it, and I totally get it because, but Walker said, I told Walker, I'm like, if these guys would just calm down, there's like a good 3 or 4 episode worth of story here, and just. And he said, yeah, just tell Mr. Steve when he watches it, watch 3, 6, and 8. And that's really all you need. And he came up with that so fast. I was like, bullshit. I have to call bullshit immediately. But then I look and I'm like, no, that's actually good, man. You could get that whole story with 3, 6, and 8.
Is 6 the flashback one?
Yeah.
When they show what really happened?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then this one, they explain everything, and there's a cool reveal at the end.
Yeah, at the end, right? Yeah. I mean, that's been all over the internet. So
Well,
there's multiple. There's 2, right?
Well, there's an end, and you sit there and go, "Oh, really? Is that the end?" Because they fade to black, and then they fade in on the cool bald
Person in the
green
cave.
girl, and I'm like, "All right, here's it. This has got to be it." And then she says some crazy shit like, "Oh yeah, he was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil." So the guy from Community, whatever his name is, Darth Queemy or Queefy or whatever his name is, the bad guy.
Darth Plagius or Plagius?
No, Plagueis. He's not Plagueis. He's got his own name. Anyway, she reveals that, oh, fuck, he used to be her Padawan. So she caused all this. And then they reveal that she's talking to who trained her, which you could probably figure it out if you know that it's 100 years before Star Wars.
Yeah. The Ballad of Darth. Yeah. I got that tonight, and I got the season finale of The Boys.
Oh, is that tonight as well?
Yes. Or yesterday, probably. No, wait, what day is today? Thursday? Yeah, today.
Yeah,
Isn't it Friday?
No, today's Thursday.
No, isn't The Boys Friday?
Oh. No, it's Thursday.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't yeah.
They had a press release that was pretty funny. That was like, we're sorry that a lot of things that happened in this episode seem to be poking fun at tragic events that happened recently in the news.
Oh, but we made this.
But you should know that
2 years ago.
We filmed this 2 years ago.
Oh shit!
It's not our fault that people took a shot at the former president.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And our
which
finale has to
which
do
for
with
them,
something
I'm
very
glad they
similar.
put it out before it was actually released. That's smart, as opposed to
Yeah.
like, but they're the people that are around the marketing for the boys are pretty smart as well. So
remember that happened when 24 came out though, that like it was like 2 weeks or 10 days after 9/11.
yeah,
And the whole beginning of it was like the plane crash and all that hijacking and shit. And they were like, look, we're really sorry. But we kind of have to put this TV show out.
yeah. We got to get this
And
out there
is the
because
inciting incident. You're not really going to get why they're doing stuff if we don't play this bit.
We're sorry that Spider-Man is capturing a web between the Twin Towers in a helicopter, but that's just what he was in New York.
Yeah,
he's a friendly neighborhood superhero.
Here's old Chris. This is why I'm sorry about bringing this up, because he was going off on like how much he didn't enjoy it, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, Chris.
Well, the only criticism I keep on seeing is like they're saying that one of the fight scenes in the final episode is like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which has never been represented in any of the other previous Star Wars things. And my response to that is probably the same as Larry's, is like, okay, it's different. That's okay. And then the same thing is, I guess she invents the Force choke, and I'm not really spoiling this for you, Mark, but she invents the Force choke. Is that true?
Well, kind of. I mean,
and
it's a story point that has a lot of discussions. Like Walker and I were like, how come Jedi can't defend against Force chokes? It's like, I get where, in the Death Star office meeting, I get that one. He's just a schmuck, right?
Right.
And even then, Vader's just kind of fucking with him. He's like, yeah, okay, But this is like it stops a battle, and then they sit there and act at each other, and you're like, they give you way too long to think about. Well, if they can do all this, training and stuff with the lightsabers, and
if all I had to do was this
and shit, how is there not like throat collar, and you can't get me, and then now there's sparking energy, and you're like, like, no, it's just the guy goes, oh, I'm sorry, like, it's not really dramatic, even much less. But the answer to all of that in our living room is, it's 100 years before the Star Wars we know. So, the answer is like, well, how come they don't have defense against that? Well, maybe they never saw it before. Like, it's all this is going to be revealed, man. We've been enjoying Star Wars stories for 40 years, and it's not like they all dumped it on us in May of 1977. We like knew all this shit. You had to like, stick your toe in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think they're adding cool shit to the world, and if you don't like it, I'm like, I guess you don't like Star Wars, because that was all the Star Wars in it.
It's why most burger places have options on kinds of burgers. That's
here's the one thing that I don't know if it's me being an older, more sophisticated audience member, but like when I saw Star Wars, I was like, fuck, that's great. Look at that ship. Holy shit. Who's that puppy guy? I love that guy. Who, you know what I mean? I didn't sit there and go, and then I'm watching fucking Acolyte, which, first of all, because of Ahsoka, I cannot keep it straight what the title is. I think a Star Wars Acolyte and/or whatever. And I just say Ahsoka because I like Rosario Dawson.
I told you the joke that was Acolyte is a word I only knew reading it. I never said it out loud, and I said it to somebody because it was Magneto and his acolytes, and I said, "Oh yeah, his occulties." They were like, "His what?" Occulties. Oh, you mean acolyte? I'm like, oh, is that how you say that?
I did that. That's just, you're too smart, man. You get words from reading. I said that. I used the word emetic when I was a kid, but I said emetic. And same thing. They're like, what? Like, who's a medic? What? I'm like, it makes you pee. And they're like, oh, that's a medic. But this is a Chris Agersag, right? He's like the Star Wars fanboy. Oh, it's got poor writing, but like the fights are great. And the costumes were awesome. And I love this thing. And everybody says the big list of all the shit you love. But then it's like, oh, yeah, but the Green Girls, guy was a little effeminate. And all Jedi are all monsters. So, it's like, well, no, you're just revealing your own biases. Like, why can't Why isn't there gay Jedi? You know why? Because like they're not supposed to have romantic entanglements. So who cares if you're gay or straight or fucking whatever? Because you're a Jedi, right? And so, but normal people just get all pulled out of that. It's like, look, that guy's got a weird haircut. He's got to be gay. You know, it's like, who are you, Jim Gaffigan? Come on, man. Star Wars. Anyway, I don't know. I've been living in San Francisco too long. I can just deal with anything.
I just like seeing a Jedi Wookiee go ham on a couple of Jedis.
I loved everything about that show. The costumes were great. Like, I love the sort of like city Jedi had white robes, but they had sort of all the other under stuff was the same. And so you'd have two guys with brown robes and two guys in white robes, and you immediately went, oh, those are the hoity-toity guys in Trump Tower, you know? And it was such a simple thing, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Was that Palpatine's voice over the comms? Yeah, you know, probably. Huh. There was a lot of everybody talking like they were doing in the sequels. Like, oh, you've taken your steps into a greater world. Yeah, just fucking shoot some people and then cut their hands off.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this, and bear with me for a second. I like this for the same reason I like Voyager, where you have the core story of them being like, oh, we're the Federation, we're great, we solve problems, we're the heroes of the universe. And then you do Voyager, and it's like, well, how high on your shit are you when you have no backup and you're all by yourself? Are you going to stick to your guns? And I kind of like this for the same reason, where the Jedi are just always portrayed as being like the saviors of the universe, and then you start to see how they fell from grace. And I'm digging it for that reason. Like
I'm with you. Cracks. I really like that it's all thematically Star Wars, and it doesn't seem like people are getting it. Like the whole like twins of Leia and Luke are completely echoed with this Force clone twin shit that's going on with Maya and Osha. Right, and I kind of like it because I don't think in fiction ever that you see the people being able to make different choices. Like the way they've set it up, it's the same person who's good and bad at the same time with two corporeal forms, and that's kind of cool. You know,
like the sliding doors, option,
right? Like, but
in one timeline,
in one space, right? It's not so much the time or dimension, it's like in actual space they are they can talk to each other.
Transporter Riker.
Cool. Right I think that's cool. I want to see that. Right,
I want to become a Maquis.
And then it seems like the one that was bad is the one that ends up kind of being good, and the one that was shitty is the one that's going to be trained by Darth Manny.
Darth Manny.
Manny Jacinto, the actor. I don't know his name.
The Top Gun kid, right?
Yeah.
Is he in Top Gun?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
The Good Place. But
the guy from The Good Place.
No, he was in Top Gun too. That's the only reason.
Maverick? Top Gun Maverick, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I saw that once.
If he was, I didn't see him. If he was, I didn't see him.
USS
to the IMDb.
Well, I heard a lot of the criticism was essentially that one of the girls just never changes her face the entire. I'm just telling you, this is what I read. Like she like never changes her expression regardless of what's going on. It could be like crazy, stressful, super mad, and it's just always like, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, so these are all things that I'm gonna just like. I have these like long list of things that I want to like when I watch it be like, oh, someone said like I said before, like there's like the final sequence is like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon fight, and I'm like, okay, that's like old kung fu wire fighting. I'm like, I kind of want to see that, but I don't know.
The criticism that like that's never been done before. It's like, really, that was half of Rogue One, right? I mean, I get what they're saying. There's a couple jumps with double kicks, and stuff that couldn't happen in real life. There's a little of that, but they use the Force, man. It makes more sense.
They're using lightsabers.
And it does in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They've got Force powers.
I don't know. It gave me a reason to watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon again. Really is.
The cute thing I saw, related, was the girl who's the star of The Acolyte was Rue in the Hunger Games, and she gets killed in those movies by Jack Quaid. Ruthlessly, like there was like a spear through the chest, and they were all on a press tour together, and they talked to her, and they were like, "Do you finally forgive Jack Quaid?" And she was like, "Yes." And then I think it was on like a Lower Decks press tour. The interviewer told Jack that, and he was like, "Thank God, people spit in my face, they kicked dirt in my eye because I killed fucking Rue in Hunger Games."
Did you hear that he? I guess because the last episode of The Boys is coming out tomorrow. Did you hear that he put in an audition tape to be Superman?
No.
Did he really?
Yeah. He's like, I didn't hear. I'm paraphrasing, and I didn't read everything, but I skimmed it real quick, and I'm pretty much sure he's like, I submitted it. Why not? And he's like, I don't think I heard anything back from it, but
I don't think
he's the voice of Superman on the HBO Max show.
Is he?
Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
It's fine for what it is, but they do one episode. I think I talked about this where it's like Superman origin. Like he just meets Lois. He doesn't know who his parents are. He doesn't know what planet he's from. He doesn't really know anything about his like history and everything because he's just starting out. But the second or third episode, he gets pulled into like a multiversal situation, and people are talking to him like we know who he is. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's Superman. You grew up on Krypton. Your parents are Jor-El and whatever." And he's just like, "Is that what my parents' names are?"
Yeah.
Like and he's like, "Yeah, every universe has a Lois. They have a Clark. They end up together." And they're like, "Oh, we just met."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you're the Clark Kent that is reliable." Like,
wait, is
usually
this
the Clark Kent's unreliable.
Is this the new animated one?
Yeah,
the multiverse one.
Does that mean that Superman's got a different voice if Jack Quaid is Clark Kent, or is he doing Superman's voice as well?
He does both.
Okay.
Because all I saw is like the reference of this is they go to the universe where the Justice League exists, and then it just immediately gets destroyed. Is that this animated movie?
That's something else.
Okay. See, I can't keep track of the DC stuff. It's too much all over the place for me.
That's the Crisis on Infinite Earth. Whoa.
Oh,
Larry. No, I was gonna say you lose power, but clearly
what
you
did
did
I do?
because
where did I go?
You went dark.
Yikes.
But Steve, you have a hard out at 5, right? So
I do. I gotta
probably call it then.
Yeah. Well, hold on. What's the?
If I'm disappearing into blackness.
Huh.
What's that say? COIE Part 3. Something.
Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 3. Yes,
that's what it was.
I'm back, baby.
Oh, that was impressive.
This is funny because there's a moment at Comic-Con that Mark will always witness, and I'll pull Mark aside. I'll be like, so what's going on in DC Comics? What's going on in Marvel Comics?
Yeah.
And for like 10 minutes, he'll give me the rundown of where everything sits, and then I'll be like, okay, thank you. Now I understand.
Yeah,
because it'll be
like, so what happened with Krakoa? Is that still a thing with the X-Men? And I'm like, okay, well here's what happened.
Yeah, I really urge you to avail yourself of the teenager that's going to be in the car with us, because I just heard all the fuck about Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman, and how Chris at Invisible Jet is going to judge him because he's not buying Invisible Wonder Woman. That's because he has nothing against Wonder Woman. It's not a gender thing. He fucking hates Tom King. And I'm like, just tell her that, man. Like when Tom King leaves Absolute Wonder Woman, that's when you'll start buying it. But I just I have all this information.
Wait, Tom King?
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Tom Taylor.
No, he loves Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor, we love Tom
Taylor. He loves Tom. Tom Taylor is the opposite of Tom King.
Yeah,
it's funny because online everyone confuses them too. So
there's Tom Taylor, super awesome Australian dude.
Yes,
and then Tom King, fucking CIA operative who thinks he knows something about Batman, and they
got it.
They all fucking love that shit.
Like I said, I gotta do my
Walker's unimpressed.
What I generally do, like the weekend before Comic-Con, is I spend time and I just surf the web of just looking at people and pictures of who people are.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yes.
Just so that I up my game when we're walking around, and I'm like, oh, do you know who that is over there? And
it's like when Sean saw China Mieville, And he was like, "Hey man, big fan of yours." And the guy's like, "You don't know who I am." He was like, "Yeah, you're this guy." He's like, "Shit, okay, I guess you do."
He got China Me able to sign the back of his Nook.
That's right.
That's like the funniest thing ever. Like, can you imagine? You don't know who I am. They're like, yeah, I am actually a huge fan of you. That guy like needed to take Sean out to dinner because how do you say that to somebody who's a real fan of yours and goes, no, I'm a real fan of yours. Here's I know your insurance number or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you
sorry
go,
that you're an
oh,
author.
I guess you are a fan of mine. That's like the most asshole thing you could say to that. You have to go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You are the biggest fan. I've been looking for you this whole time, and then walk around with them all day.
Yeah. My favorite Sean story of all time is we just get into Comic-Con, and as we're walking 20 feet, who is signing at a table but George Martin?
Oh yeah,
George R.R. Martin. And Sean immediately walks up to the front and immediately is like, "Oh my God, I'm the biggest fan, blah, blah, blah." And we immediately have to like walk over to him and be like, "Sean, there's a fucking line of like 1,000 people. You can't just randomly."
That's not how this works, man.
He was like, "I'm the biggest fan." And then we were like, "Okay, cool. You got to keep on going.
you can't drink from the chocolate fountain. There are rules."
Yeah. Anyway,
my favorite Sean story is what happened at Edgewater Grill that Sunday. Remember that? That's the best story ever.
No good deed goes unpunished.
I will never forget that guy, man. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he had to get shit about it. And now I'm like coming back from the bathroom and going, what is happening? Why is everybody stressing out?
He's doing well. I chatted with him recently. So
that's cool.
Okay.
Doing good. The kids are great. They just visited. They just went to Holland. They were visiting Holland or Denmark, one of the two. So anyway, well, on that note, I think it's probably a good segue.
Right.
I don't know. Are we doing one of the? We're going to try to do one of these at
the current plan? Walker said is he's going to do a real quick thing in the hotel room at night. So with nothing editing, no stuff, just our raw enthusiasm going, holy fuck, can you believe what happened today? And
awesome.
I love it.
All right, that's the plan.
Well,
who knows
though? Talk to you guys online in a little bit. I'm assuming once
absolutely.
And I'm still on the hunt for the hat. So once I get confirmation that it exists, we will have 3 hats. That is not
excellent. It will either exist already or will by when we come back.
Yes,
because then that's be the first thing I do with all the money we take in is make sure
everything.
We have that.
I love it. Awesome, gentlemen.
Dork Court. Yeah, there we go. Good stream.